Welcome to our prayer journey with Mike Todd Daily Devotion. Today we're going to go back to the book of Job, in which Job, who had lost his family, all of his money, because Satan went to oppose him and God allowed it. And I think it is for our benefit, reading through this book, the exposure of the gospel in this book. I believe that is the reason God did this. So Job is basically on a tremendous mission from God, but has no clue that he is. But he has lost his whole entire family, all of his wealth, and he is going through the grieving process. And today we know that process likely exists in this manner. That first we deny what has happened to us. We don't want to believe it. Then there is anger, bargaining, depression, and finally, acceptance. All of those other ones, other than acceptance, are a tunnel of despair that you are going in. And you're not going in order. It's not like go to this street, then that street. Some of these things are tumbling on top of each other, bringing person to a depressed state, a state of hopelessness. And here we see that is what is happening to Job. And his friend Eliphaz shows up to speak to him. And the problem is, as a comforter, as somebody that comes to comfort another one, we should come with a plan. What is our plan to go before them? You know, some people have tremendous empathy. They can feel the pain of others, and they can go and weep with them the whole entire time, and by doing so, uplift them. I seen just recently a woman that saw another woman in stress. At great cost to her, she came from far away and spent money and time, and all she did was serve that other person without bringing them down and taking all of the burden that other person was putting upon them. Why? Because she was a servant of God, giving love to that individual. But sometimes the individual going through all of the pain feels that they have a right to be depressed, a right to be angry, a right to complain and wish everything was over. And the person that's coming to comfort them could sit there and listen, and it is difficult because it would bring them down also. And many would take off and leave. But we have an example here of what not to do. Because Job's friend Eliphaz came, and he comes before Job as a righteous man in his own eyes, or self-righteous. After listening to the complaints of Job, he tells him something that is really foolish, because it is not from him, but from Satan directing him that he says these things. And we got to be careful, because sometimes we could say things that hurt people and are not true because of our opinion or something that was placed in our mind. What had happened is Eliphaz says that in the night, while he was sleeping, some spirit came to him and spoke to him and told him to say to Job that, shall a mortal man be more just than God? And that's in Job 4:7. So he opposes Job on the behalf of Satan. Satan's working against Job. He is there to comfort Job, and he throws this to him in the midst of his problems, rubbing salt into the wound. So we need to be cautious. Lead people who are struggling through all of these different things that they must go through, and bring them to the point of acceptance. When we get a big wound and it hurts, it is difficult in the time that we have that wound. But over time, when it is healed, we look back at it as an experience. In fact, it may help us avoid other difficulties in the future. We will now know socially and how mentally to prepare for incidents that we see coming. Hopefully, as it says in Corinthians, we will be able to comfort others who are struggling because we went through it ourselves. Keeping this always in mind, that Jesus may increase as we decrease.